Well, I saw my camera. Well. Good morning or good afternoon, West Ham fans. Russ the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well. Happy Friday. We have done another week, my friends, and it's going to be a sweltering weekend in the UK. As I said, I just don't get it. I was talking to a guy just now. I don't understand how being so, being in hotter places recently, I feel it's just as hot here, and it's 20 degrees cooler. Absolutely radio rental. But this morning I spoke about maybe some of the forgotten men of West Ham could save our pre-season, so to speak, the likes of Somerville, the likes of Mamadou Kante, and maybe even Louise Al. I gave you my thoughts. Go back and check that out. But today we are doing the Russy Rumour rating, the original rumour rating. Don't believe what you said elsewhere. This is the original rumour rating. And a warning sign. I'm not saying we are signing all these players. We take the mickey and keep a track of how many players we've been linked with. But what we do at the West Ham Network is we basically look at the date, look at the rumours that have been brought into play, any news, ITK, or that type of stuff, and present them back to you. And so you don't have to go through all that rigmarole, and then you can make your own sort of conclusions like we do. So let's start off. That's better if I actually press the right button. Let's start with Evann Guessand. Now, this guy is a guy I want. I think he would be absolutely perfect for West Ham, which means we will not get him. Because that is the law of the sod. Apparently, according to reports, us, Leeds, Spurs and Crystal Palace in signing a niche striker. He had 21 goal contributions last season for Nice, and he's got all the attributes to be a proper, decent West Ham or Premier League player, and hopefully West Ham. It remains to be seen where he ends up. I don't think he will be West Ham in all honesty, because there's, I just think at the moment the likes of Crystal Palace and Spurs are more attractive than us at the moment in terms of what they can offer. They can offer European football, which we can't, and that's a huge pull, particularly for players moving from one continent to another. And the Ivorian Coast International will look to establish himself as a key player in the Premier League, and he needs to play regularly. He can play across the front three, which is great. For us, we know we need to sign a dynamic attacker. That's a priority this summer. And for me, Evann fits the bill to a T. He really does, and could develop into a key player for many years to come. At the age of, is he 20? I forgot what on there. 23. So great age, but it will come with a price tag as well. And a price tag I don't think we'll be able to afford, in all honesty. If we believe if we have to sell before we buy. It does seem the number of clubs interested in some of our players is dwindling. So yeah, we'll see. Because the fact of the other clubs and maybe our financial position as well, I'm only going to give it 40% the Russy Rumour rating, the original Rumour rating, 4 out of 10. Let's talk about a player who's not going to. This guy is not going to sign for West Ham, okay? But I thought I'd make a point because again, it's another French, another sort of not French. He's French, but he's not from France, not from Liga. He's from Serie A. A similar mould to Evann, really, slightly younger, Ange-Yoan Bonny. According to reports, us and Crystal Palace were both keen on signing him this summer. The two clubs obviously both eager to reinforce our offensive units, so to speak. But the 21-year-old Parma striker looks set to move elsewhere, and it will be staying in Serie A with Inter Milan. It does seem that that's going to be very, very announced in the sort of immediate future. Also, Bournemouth and Roma were keen on signing the Parma attacking prospect. So 10% chance. But I added him because his person we've been linked with, and it'll be one we strike off the list, so to speak. Let's talk Bournemouth. Well, again, sort of back to League R, really, because he was on loan at 𝙏𝙍𝘼𝙎𝙃 last season. But according to reports coming out of Tutor Atalanta, West Ham have emerged as a candidate to land Bournemouth's Hamid Junior Traore. Now, a guy we spoke about before, he was on loan at 𝙏𝙍𝘼𝑎 and impressed, and that has basically attracted the attention of multiple clubs. He scored 10 times and 2 assists last season for 𝙏𝙍𝘼𝑎 in League A. The article in Tutor Atalanta claimed that West Ham are currently on the sidelines to landing on the sidelines. That's the wrong word. We're front of the pack or whatever, not on the sidelines, but anyway. There's also interest from Atalanta, who have also had an exploratory meeting with the player, and Traore is among multiple names on their shortlist. Bologna are interested in signing him as well, and Fiorentina. The indication is that all the Italian clubs want to sign him on loan, whereas West Ham, apparently, according to reports, have been exploring a permanent transfer. The thing stand Bournemouth looking for exactly that and demand a fee around 20 million euros or a loan with obligation clause inserted. And the Cherries are looking for guarantees in the move, and the likelihood is that West Ham could provide that over Serie A sides. I don't really believe it, to be honest. 3 out of 10, 30% chance, I'd say, in this one. And lastly, let's talk about Mads Hermansen. We spoke about him yesterday, but X reported and several other news outlets that we were going to be bringing in Kasper Ange-Yoan as our new goalkeeper coach. That announcement will be made at the beginning of July, we assume, based on when contracts are all finished with Xavi as well, and his current and Kasper's current project. Not project contract with Bromby. Now, he played when he was goalkeeper coach at Bromby. One of his students was Mads, and so 2 and 2 have been added together. We are on the assumption that no move is going to be made for a goalkeeper until Kasper's or whoever the goalkeeper coach is going to be is in place, because they have integral information and opinions that will benefit what they're looking for in terms of that second goalkeeper to compete with Alphonse Areola. It looks like Alphonse Areola is safe at West Ham at the moment. Espanyol obviously sold 𝙏𝙍𝘼𝙉𝙎 to Barcelona, but recently they have just acquired the free transfer of 𝙏𝙍𝘼𝙉𝙎 from Liga, which will be the replacement for Garcia. Alphonse Areola was looked as a possible replacement for Garcia in Espanyol. So, yes, there we go. So in terms of Mads, I think there's a high chance we could sign him. I'm going to give a 70% chance. The stars somewhat are aligning, and I think there's definitely it would make sense for us to pursue a move for Mads with Kasper as his goalkeeper coach. But that makes sense, and sometimes, as we all know, West Ham, things don't quite add up when it comes to it. But I've added 2 and 2 together. I'll come up with 4, and hopefully that's the right number. Although 3 is a magic number according to the song. That's the list. We're up to 123, 4, 5, 6, 7, 130 players we have been linked with so far this transfer window, which the second period has only been open for the last 4 days. I assume I will probably have to have a 6th column by the end of August. But let me know what you think. If you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Any of them float your boat? Let me know in the comments below which of those really floats your boat. I think Mads, to be honest, Guessand and Mads. Those are the two I have those bunch I really want, but we'll see. Anyway, take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Don't stay warm, stay cool, stay humble. Don't forget also, if you like what we do, to give us a like, comment, share, subscribe, become a channel member, all that good stuff. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Much love. Bye.